Hey there, everybody. Back here with our next episode with our Nazca Disciples game. I know everyone's been enjoying this. Everyone enjoys Nazca. So let's see, continue what we have here. We see Relay attacking Vanheim Steel. Very unfortunate. We find a painted cave. That's an Astral 1 site. Very good to see that we were able to defend off this province from Relay. Yes, taking out some expensive units. I mean, that's 200 gold and illithids there. Lobo Guard, not as important. Slave Guardians, I mean, they're slaves overall, but I mean, still 27 is nothing to kind of joke about. Still a decent amount. I mean, Commander, unfortunately, they did not take out that slave there, slave mage. But yeah, just the war shamblers, they're very very strong. That mercenary Atlantis type group, I forget what they're called. Hold on, shipwreckers. That's what they're called. Very very strong unit. So very good to see. We see all the mercenaries are bought out. So they're retreated back into 105 for what was left. Surprised we don't see kind of Yes going back and forth here. I think we already saw Relay already fighting with Yes, or Relay waiting on that. I don't quite remember. But yeah, if Yes was this and they were kind of diverting their forces to attack islands and other provinces held by other nations, I mean, you should be kind of zooming around trying to raid and hurt his economy as best as he can, since he has no other partner that can jump underwater and help him. And yeah, that's a pretty sweet province there. So, let's see, had unexpected event, losing population, always unfortunate. Construction of the palisade is completed, very nice to see. Patrolling troops killed one brigand. Where was that at? A lot of unrest there for only one brigand. But we're still patrolling. We're moving out a large number of slaves, 41 in total, to attack 43, along with this spearman group that is going over there. We're picking up more units, moving from 20. I assume that there's a well there. We see that Death 3 to pick up more units than 32. Building a palisade in 23. Finishing a palisade in 61 next turn. That's going to be very sweet. We're also building a lab there this turn, and we're site searching it. Next, we would like to be taking 56 and 57. We are moving over to claim this throne here, the Throne of Laws, giving us order +1. If you do not know, your Holy Threes can claim your partner's thrones. You cannot use their labs and whatnot, but you can use Holy Threes to claim their thrones. So that is very fortunate. Moving, site searching over at 30. That's where we're moving to next. Moving some troops over. So what we're doing here, looks like I bet there's troops left over. So there's 7 slaves here. We're moving this commander, this Apu, with his 10 that he picked up over in 39, along with this Bakemono chief that is going to be used as a scout for us. Moving both of them into 31 to let the Apu pick up the troops in 31, drop off the Bakemono's troops to the Apu, and him move back to get ready to attack 56 or 57. No real intentions of going after 19. We do see that we see some Bakemono show and Bakemono archers here from Shinu Ama fighting Zabalba, taking his cap circle. So very interesting to see them at war there. So that tells me Pangea is also at war with them. We know that Ulm is around this area here, if I remember. So we have Ulm and Shinyama fighting Zabalba and Pangea. Very good to see those Pangea distracted here at this moment. Very, very strong nation in the early game and into the late as well. Very good to see them distracted. We see Iryu did take 66. Very unfortunate. We do know that he is still fighting Marignan over here. We see that Marignan did finally take back his cap circle there at 69. Do not know what else is going on as far as that goes. Moving a scout over there this turn to start to see. This is only turn 13. Shit is getting real fast. So we are moving a large number of slaves and spearmen to the capital, along with this commander here. We're going to be picking up more spearmen. I doubt we'll take the Sun Guard here at this moment, and we're going to be moving them into 56. That's more than likely the group we're going to attack with. We're going to leave the capital and move over to 56, take that, and then probably hit 57, reinforced by this group of maybe 15, 20 slaves. I mean, we also have this group of spearmen here that are, I mean, that's 30 spearmen. They are fairly decent overall, so they're nothing to scoff at either. They're going to be picking up these slaves here in Province 55. Looks like very, very high unrest, more than likely due to a blood site. So yeah, we're going to be taking 56 next turn, and then with a combination of the slaves down south, the spearmen to the right, we're going to be taking 57 because it looks like there's a lot of cav there. So that's going to be very, could take a lot of losses there. So still have population 40, so we don't have to worry about moving our Malqui anywhere. Need to be making, so we're making a Earth Mother to start searching for Earth in nature. Definitely want to get a nature income going for sure. We do have this Jade Maiden site that we need to get started on, just get water income. Not necessarily something that's needed, but of course it's always better to have it than not. Building a palisade there in 76 across from the Nabah. This is one of the rivers to go across. Pretty decent province overall, 8,300 population, so pretty decent. We do just need more and more fort sites, for sure. That's definitely, we just need a lot of fort sites. Vanheim not having as many good sites, really only having 48. I think he's building another one. Of course, he'll build one there on that throne. I mean, but in total, it's only giving him 3 forts. Not really helping out. So, definitely going to try to take advantage of the low income or low upkeep slaves we have by kind of supplementing our nation with tons of forts to really start producing lots and lots of really good mages here. These are great mages. Def 2, all of them cast Horde of Skeletons. They all have Earth 1, they're all Holy 2s, and they can have random Astral, Earth, or Air. Very, very sweet. Yes, they do have a high upfront cost and high upkeep, but when they die, you just get a second version, so you don't really have to worry about them dying as much. Just because you get a Malqui priest, which costs you even more as far as initial cost at home, and he's going to be able to be a reanimating priest or a researcher, whatever you want for him. As far as that's our combat mages, and honestly, we need to start getting a lot more of them. We need to get a lot of site searching done, because once we hit Conjuration 3, which is going to be it's going to be a little while since we have a lot of people out searching. It's not going to be that long. We hit Construction 2, which is going to be fairly quickly. We're going to go straight down to Enchantment 5, and we're going to have all of these priests ready with Horde of Skeletons, because that's going to be our first major magic we're going to be using in our armies. I mean, right now we have a fort dedicated to 61, 76, 35, 23. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 right here being 57, maybe 1 over here being fort number 7 or fort number 8, I don't remember. But I mean, as far as our research monkey goes, of course, I mean, we are making our decent ones just because we're good on cash at the moment, are going to be these Aselas here. 100 gold up front, a lot cheaper than the priest are. Fire 1, Air 1, priest level 1. 40 upkeep, very, very low upkeep compared to the priest. They also are those mummies. So yeah, those are going to be our research monkeys. And once these forts like 61, 76, 23 are finished, that's all they're going to make. Mixed in with priest. Every now and then, of course, we'll make priest, but they just have a really high upfront cost. But we're going to want them. We're going to need a lot of them regardless. We're going to make them whenever we can, But these are going to be our research monkeys right here. Haven't really made, or not really going to focus on many Koyas or Incas right now in the very beginning. We're not going to worry about those till later on, mid to late game, or Royal Malquis. I have bought one or two of them just to have all the paths there without having to sacrifice a Koya and an Inca. So, I mean, they're nice. They're expensive. They have high upkeep. But yeah, we won't really make Incas or Koyas. I mean, we'll make a Koya and we'll make a few more Incas to start site searching, but past that, it's going to be a while till we start making them every turn. Along with the Royal Malquis, it's going to be a while till we make one of them as well. So that is all for this turn here, turn 13. Not a whole lot else going on. We already spoke about our neighbors and whatnot. We see Nabah was looking fairly large. I mean, tons of area here that we saw that he had. Kind of scary for sure. Nabah does have a pretty good expansion. We see Nabah there at 69 or 99. I do enjoy Nabah myself. His partner Agartha is located to his left. We see Tian Chi here. This is Marignon's partner. So let's go ahead and go to turn 14. Continue. 14, there we go. Found 2 sites, very nice. Sparkling Field, so an air site, very, very sweet. We definitely want that sweet air income coming in. And we found a Earthblood Seepage giving us +2 to our Earth. That is also very awesome. We are going to want a very, very high air income, and so is Vanheim. I have my summons I want to cast. Vanheim has their spells and whatnot that are very air-oriented. Their mages are very air-oriented. So we're gonna be sharing the love a little bit, giving some gems back and forth. We do a lot of trading with the partner I have. I do really enjoy playing with him. We do talk in depth about things quite often. We share resources very easily. I mean, it's not like one person tries to keep things from the other. Things go fairly well. If he ever needs something made, he lets me know. If I ever need something made, I let him know, and we take care of it. Unfortunately, we do see that 54 was taken from him. He does have the same site that we just found. He did take 73, which is 45 income is pretty nice. Unfortunately, he does need to take this back from those troglodytes. Kind of a tough trampling enemy to deal with there. So this is us taking, what province was that? Oh, taking 43. I forgot we were attacking that. And then we're moving back to the right. We see him taking the underwater province. We see Vanheim taking, what are they taking there? Is that? So he took back one of the islands, but he's going to have to move back off with that high. 120 troops coming in right there. We do see Relay also holds 81, which is interesting. Unfortunately, cannot see who holds 83. So we'll see Vanheim retreat off of 95. So other than that, Nature Gems plus 15 defense is pretty sweet. Those are troglodytes only killing 1. They're kind of tough. Kind of tough units fight, very high HP pools. Palisades completed in Midland. Starving in the desert. Yeah. This early on, we don't have very high construction, so we don't have any endless bags of wine, so we have to we're going to have some of our units start to starve in here, which is unfortunate, but we'll get them moved out fairly quickly. The only nice thing about that is that our Malquis are actual units kind of that we have to pay for and make slaves for us. I mean, they're already dead, so they don't really care about the amount of supplies that are in the province. But I mean, it's not even by a lot. It's only by 4 supplies that they're down by. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to move any out, but we do not expect to be starving by a whole lot. Down to 1,100. We're moving Commander to move them out next turn. Building the fortress up in 61. We're also building a temple there. Making more and more scouts. 3 more turns left on 76. So instead of going from 1 to 1, we're just going to take both of them this turn. Hopefully, we don't screw this up. Because this one's a little iffy, especially if there's a lot of heavy cav. I mean, sure, we have 30 spearmen and we have roughly around 30 of the slaves, but still, that can be a little risky. This other force here holding about 50 spearmen and then right around 50 slaves is a much better force indeed. And then just being able to have this second group. Are they going? No, they're going to the cap. They can't. They can't get there in one turn, so they're going to head to the cap first. So yeah, that's what we have going on. Let's see. We do not see where this Bakemono force went to. We also see that this Pangean force moved, more than likely either moving to 25 or 5, taking whatever away from Pan. Of course, Abalba is going to have a tough time over here. Not the strongest nation, but if they've already lost this much ground to Shinuyama, it's going to be difficult for them to recover, especially if Panji is not able to support them on this side. Fighting a war on two fronts, especially if you're not the aggressor in the very beginning, can be tough to bounce back from. We have three more forts or three more turns here on 23. We're site searching on 30. We're site searching on 35. 28 research points turns because we did not move out our two priests here from the capital yet. Not really worried about getting our research up early. Just really trying to get our income, get everything site searched because we just want a lot of air coming in, because once we do hit that Conjuration 3 and we are able to start summoning condors, we're going to want a lot of them. We have a decent bless, be it attack skill, shock resistance, poison resistance, fire resistance, cold resistance, defense skill, strength, blood surge, dark vision. They're just going to be very, very good. Siegers are going to be very good. Attack rear flyers. And then just having slaves on top of that to use as chaff. I mean, we're not going to have to worry too much. We're going to be very, very powerful. And then once we do finish that, and once we do have some condors, our next research goal is Enchantment 5, which every priest that we make can cast. So it makes every priest a combat mage. Even if forts, if they have a lot of priests in them, if they try to break into our fort and storm it, it's going to be very, very difficult. Even if we have just a couple of priests, we're going to be able to block up the kind of gateway and then kind of take things from there. We'll have units firing down on them and whatnot. So yeah, very, very good mage for sure that we have. Site searching with nature. We're going to be going around. We're going to be making a bunch more of these guys. I know they are heretics, so they're going to be trying to remove your dominion. But we're not. It's not like we're going to have a ton of these guys sitting here. What we are going to do is we're going to move these guys. We're going to site search with them all over the place. And then once we're done site searching with that nature, we're going to put one of these guys, and we're trying to put them in every fort that we have. The reason why is because they're disease healers. This little tag right here, they're going to get rid of diseases. And if you notice, all of our priests are old as fuck. Okay, so they're going to get diseased over time, and then having just one of these Earth Mothers in the province is going to allow them to have that disease taken away. So that is going to be very, very nice, even if there's a bunch of them in a certain province. I mean, taking one disease away every turn, it's going to take longer than a couple of turns to actually kill a priest from old age and disease. So just having that disease, they might rack up an affliction or two before it gets healed, but it will get healed. So that is going to be very, very nice for us to have. Very nice little combo there between mages, very synergistic. So that is really sweet. So let's go ahead and check out turn 15. And we'll end off the episode there. So we have two magic sites found, a stone circle and a glen of verdant greenery. I believe these are both nature 1 sites. They're both giving up 1 gem. Yep, 1 gem here, and a wood hinge druid. Not as important since we do already have nature mages, and this is another 1 gem site. So we're up to 3 gems for nature, and that was just with one site search. That was pretty sweet. This this mountain province has been pretty useful. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gems coming from that one site. That's pretty awesome. Moving you south to continue site searching. So it looks like we did take both of these, and there's a lava lake there. So that is another extra fire and water gem per turn. We can check out these battles here. So Vanheim easily taking out those troglodytes, only losing one Van. Very, very nice for him. We see Pangea doing a good job killing a bunch of deer tribe. We have pretty acceptable losses here. I mean, 18 slaves really isn't that big of a deal. Only losing 4 spearmen. I mean, these are the ones we actually paid for. Pretty decent. There was 10 heavy cav there. Now, this is the group that was on the right side, the more dangerous looking expansion there. And then we do have this larger group here, and we lost 20 spearmen and 21 slaves. Kind of unfortunate, but we do have an amulet of amulet of breathing, so we'll be able to send that over to Vanheim. He's gonna get some shit underwater, and he was happy to see that. Definitely make sure if you get random items, if your partner can use them, send them over. No point of having an item just sit there in your inventory and not do anything at all. So you also have to be mindful of reading these reports and not knowing, so because if I didn't know, I could sit there for a few turns and had no clue that it was sitting there in my inventory because I'm just not forging items now. I'm not going to forge them till I hit construction 2 or 4 because my units really don't need items like that, unlike someone like Vanheim. But yeah, 16 heavy cav. So yeah, that was very unfortunate. We lost so many there. Glad we didn't lose more spearmen than we did, but that was quite a bit. Taking out some brigands there at that desert. Now this is a little much more of a deficit there on supplies, but we are moving a large quantity of them out. We're going to move all of them out because we don't want the supplies to get any worse. We see a bunch of diseases here. And I mean, at the end of the day, they are slaves, and we really don't care. But we could send them over to an Earth Mother and have them start getting cured. But yeah, we really don't care enough about them. So moving this slave over, so we are moving him over to the Earth Mother province, so maybe one can get healed every turn at least. But we just want to get him moved out for sure. That's about it. As far as our graphs go, provinces, looks like we're a province above Vanheim, maybe 2 provinces above him because he has been losing them to Relay. Forts, we have more. Income, we're close. For a while there, we're about even, but us taking those 2 new provinces there really kind of put us ahead. Gem income, we are way, way above. We have been doing a lot of site searching, and since our mages do have multiple paths, we have been able to search for a lot more, a lot faster. Research is a little bit higher, so we know Vanheim finally started researching. But that's pretty notorious for Vanheim to not have any researchers in the early game for the first year, just because they're sending them all out. You have to keep that in mind that my commanders and mages are different. They're separated. Whereas with Vanheim, his commanders and his mages are the same units. So if he's not sending raiding parties out, he's not growing. And there's no real point in researching on the first few turns if you're not expanding. So, I mean, normally you'll see this in even other games I have, that even my Pangea game that I currently have going on. For the longest time, I have no researchers at all. And it's turn 13 or 14, and I still have I think I still have no researchers at all because you're using everything you have to expand as much as you can, and your commanders that you have are your researchers as well. So not until you're done either fighting independence, or depending on if you get an early war or not, and things such as that, like you might not see any research till later on. So you do have to remember that. And then, of course, ours is immensely larger than his own army size because we have so many slaves. And you can tell about when we started having slaves. I don't think we were. I think this is when we kind of started. In the very beginning, we were losing shit, and then this is when we kind of grabbed a few slaves, and then we started moving them over. I think that's when we moved them out of the cap. to the desert, and then ever since then we have been making large and large amounts of slaves. This turn, not so much, it would seem. So yeah, very nice. Probably no, that wouldn't have mattered. Oh no, the reason why you don't see growth on that last turn is because we lost 20 units here and 50 units here. So we lost 70 units and we've kept even. So we made around either 50 or 70 units there that turn between the capital and the slaves being recruited. That's why it stayed even on that last turn. So you just have to keep that in mind. Looks like we're picking the units up there at 58. It looks like there's a Def 3 site there as well. So we'll have to get that searched. No point in sending a Def 2 over until either we have construction for it, if we make a skull staff to search it with a Def 3, or having Conjuration 3 to do Dark Knowledge that will search up to level 9. So I'm sure the Well of Pestilence or the leper thing, whatever other leper fins that spreads diseases and increases death. I think there might be one more. There's a nature death site, and I don't know, is there three? There might be more than three that increases death, but those are only ones that are on top of my head. So yeah, we are moving that amulet of breathing over to a lab to get that sent off. We do leave another high priest at home, or another priest at home, just to continue researching. So from the looks of it, each one of them gives us 14. So that's 42 this turn, and then that's going to be 14 more, so that's going to be 56. I mean, a little bit off from hitting Conjuration 3 the next two turns, so it's going to take us 3 turns to hit Conjuration 3. But there we'll be able to grab Construction possibly in 2 turns, and then we'll go down Enchantment 5, depending on how much research we can get out of these forts and how quickly we can. I don't know why I have 2 of them. Oh, it's because there's 1 extra point being used there. That's what it is. I should have just took it off. You should be making a... it's because you're a Palisade. So I'm not going to waste the time trying to make a mage. I do want some extra flying scouts out to get them out quicker. Two more turns on both of these Palisades. We're going to need to get someone to them in order to make labs and temples. We'll probably build a fort on 57. Site search in 38. So we are building a Palisade on 43. Out of all of the province there, that is the best one. We see a Palisade under construction here at 29. Did we already claim thrones? Yep, we already did claim the Throne of Law. So I'm just going to go ahead and site search it for him for Heir to Fire to Holy 3. And then we're probably going to move them back home and start site searching. Do want to kind of get our area done first and then move over to his. Of course, we will do his, no worries. I mean, he does have Earth Mages, higher Earth Mages. We do want, well, we have Earth 2s. Yeah, we're going to move over there. We're going to get his stuff site searched too. Don't forget you can site search your friends, your disciples, provinces, so don't worry about that. It's definitely something useful. You want to make sure you can maximize the most you can out of every province you have just to get that incremental, goodness, what is it called, advantage over your opponents. So keep that in mind. We do see a very large force here at 91 of red guards and crossbows. Don't know if they're hitting 80 or not. Instead of having to go around this loop here to go down to Marignan, if they cleared that out, that'd be kind of a really sweet little path there they could take. We see Yis is also over here teaming up on Marignan, helping him out. Honestly, I think Yis should be trying to take out Relay, because Relay is going to run them over when they get over there. So Ariu is still, but honestly, I mean, if you don't... I mean, at this point, it's a 2v1 Marignan. If both of you haven't been able to just have all of his land taken and his fort siege with his partner not coming over here yet, it's not looking good. And then you got Relay that's going to come down here and just take out Yis. Iryu cannot help Yis in that fight. And at this point, I think once Tianchi gets over here, he's going to be able to beat Iryu back for sure. I think because Iryu is very, very small here. Only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the looks of it provinces on turn 15 because they've been fighting back and forth. I mean, compared to me and Vanheim, I mean, we look great compared to what's going on right here. I mean, nothing against the player. I'm just saying that maybe the early conflict did not turn out the way he wanted it to. Um, I mean, he did kind of have a rough area to start in, but I mean, honestly, it wasn't too bad. I mean, he could have took these provinces fairly quickly. Could have took this stuff. He could have moved kind of northward, because I think Agartha's like around here. Or is he up there? I think Agartha's like here at 113. So it took Agartha a while to kind of get all the way down here. So he could have grabbed some of this along with it. Yes, grab this island at least. Grab that. Get ready. Try to take as much water before Relay can grab it. And honestly, I think Yis should have took these islands here, because Yis just fights so much better on land. And if Relay tried to oppose him up here, it wouldn't have gone well for him. I don't think Relay would have done that. I think Relay would have gone around him and just went for his cap at that point. But then that just left Relay open to raids all over the place. I don't know. It's a lot of back and forth. I don't know. A lot of things to think about here for sure. This is kind of already taken area, possibly taken stuff like here from Yis. Yis could have taken this stuff here for sure as well to get more land. All kinds of stuff. Lots to think about. Lots to think about for sure. But yeah, that is our expansion over that's the boss area right there at 75. He said we told him he could have everything on that side of the river. Everything is taken on my side. Iryu took 66. That's it. Pangea is going to have 19. We're done with expanding. Turn 15. Took those last two. So not too bad. Not too bad. Research-wise, 42. We already spoke about that. Recruitment, we're not going to be making any more units. We might make some Sun Guard every turn, but other than that, we're not going to make any more Spearmen. Nah, definitely not. Now we're just going to focus on mages. Having very, very strong mages like we do, which I spoke about, going into the early mid or mid game at all is going to be very fantastic for us. They're going to be skeletons are going to be our front line. We're going to have the slaves on attack rear. We're going to have condors and Sun Guard to actually deal that damage there. And I did have quite a conversation with my partner on deciding on. He was like surprised I did not go with these Condor warriors. But I'll tell you the reason behind it. So yes, they do have storm immunity, so they can still fly with storm up. But I don't particularly like putting storm up that much because it's gonna hurt all my slaves. Well, it's just gonna make it so they can't fly and other shit like that. They do have cold resistance. They're sacred. They have a bronze lance, so they do have that lance, which is pretty sweet. But when I go over here and I look at a unit that is just 3 gold more, they have the cold resistance. They have bodyguard, not as important. They fly. Protection is better. Yep, 12 versus 9. The attack skill is 1 more, so 13 instead of 12. Defense skill is the same. So stat-wise, things are looking the same. Same strength. Just better protection and better attack skill for this unit here. There's 3 more gold. And on top of that, they have a Sun Mace instead of a Lance, which is a magical weapon. So that's going to help us with things like they have ethereal, with elementals, a couple of different things, honestly. Just adding that magic weapons to our capability or our arsenal is going to be great. On top of that, our Bless didn't have magic weapons on it, so that's another reason. And then once we click on the Sun Mace, which was something I was not quite aware of until I started looking into started looking into Nazca and really starting to learn about them. This Sun Mace here actually deals 3 times damage versus undead and demons. So that is going to be a very, very powerful attack versus demons and undead, which could become pretty common as you go through the game. So that is a very, very useful tool that we can have to our advantage by me just accumulating them over time versus the Condor warriors here. Because we already have the killing power. We have Condors. We have slaves for chaff. We have extra. We have skeletons, we have great mages, but we need a unit that does cover things like magic damage. It could probably take out things like thugs and whatnot, because I'm sure we're going to see demons and different things like that. I mean, of course, we have Nabal that can go into blood. We have End that's going to do blood stuff, which we see him over there. We have Ashdod who can do blood stuff. Don't know if they have undead per se. Undead's not as important, but there may be some pretenders that may be demons or undead that could be very tough for us to take out, along with things that have been twice spawned. So Banes and whatnot, they're undead. So they're going to be thugs that can be taken out. I mean, just different things. It's just a thing to have that you could use, that could become handy sometimes, that the rest of your nation does not really have access to. And then, like, because I said, I mean, condors are not really giving me a whole lot that I don't already have. So that was kind of my reasoning behind it. For only 3 gold, what's the upkeep difference on them? 8 gold a year. Let's see, 9 gold a year. So it's not even that big of a difference upkeep wise either. So yeah, just 3 more gold and 1 more upkeep a year. That is all that's to it, and they're just giving you a extra resource at your disposal. And that is turn 15. Let's look at our gem income. 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3. So we're finding a wide variety of gems. Site searching, we're probably hopefully getting a lot more death. Definitely want to start finding some more astral. And definitely want to find some more air and fire. Of course, those are going to be our main 4 that we're going to be looking for. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a longer one than usual. I usually don't go 37 minutes on the Nazca game, but here's to a long one. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.